Yeah, thank you for having me. It's an honor to be a part of Nurses Outside of the Box, and I'm excited to speak with you.
Yeah, I'm so excited too. So you have so many hats. You are a neonatal nurse, you're a nurse innovator, you are a nurse researcher, you have so many things that you actually are doing. What would you say right now you are doing as a nurse innovator on this planet right now, on this earth? What do you think is the main thing?
I think one of the most amazing things, other than the Johnson & Johnson Nurse Innovation Fellowship that I'm a part of, that lets us plug into different resources and really uh, elevate nursing on a global level as far as innovation goes. It's allowed me to participate in different projects that I don't necessarily know I'd be exposed to, but currently I am co-founder of Nightvision Care. It's a company that I started with a few other nurses from the hackathon that Johnson & Johnson and Mancillas sponsored back in November of last year. So there was a pitch that was done. We created a pitch deck to optimize nursing care and patient outcomes at night, because I feel like it's a problem. Our company feels like it's a problem that hasn't been addressed, and so we're excited to go ahead and find a solution, and we already have one to go ahead and meet that need, and we're excited to see where it goes. And just the opportunities that I've been able to go ahead and participate within the fellowship has been exciting.
You know, you've done so much, and it's interesting. And I have several people help on Nurse Outside the Box. We've had several Johnson Johnson fellows, and it's been so exciting to have you guys here, right? I'm curious. Tell us about your path, because I'm sure at one point you just started nursing, right? So how did
Right.
you your path? I'd love to hear a little more.
When I first started nursing, I was working with adults, and I did that for a couple of years. And my real passion was always pediatrics. So when the door opened for me to move into the neonatal area and work in an ICU, and it's a level 4, so I get exposed to pretty sick kids and for little ones, and that's where my heart is, and I love it so much. So that's where I started. And it's funny that your podcast is called Nurses Outside the Box, because maybe a year or so ago, my nurse manager handed everybody a form and told them there were boxes and told them to go ahead and check off which ones, where they wanted their career path to be at the organization where they wanted to grow. And I didn't see anything that really fit me and my skill set. And so I drew a box and I wrote Nurse Innovator next to it, and I checked it. So I very much am a nurse outside the box, making my own and trying to go ahead and lead that pathway and create a culture of innovation from the bottom up in some of the organizations that are so top heavy. So I'm excited about paving that way.
Yeah, so how did you do that? So you were a nurse at the bedside, your nurse manager said like, okay, you drew another box, and then what happens? I know you must have somehow had a path towards getting in touch with becoming that innovator. How did that happen for you? Just really curious.
Yeah, so I've always had the mind to try and find a solution for things, fix things. And one of, I think, the catalysts that really pushed me into this world of innovation is I saw that there was a system we used to feed our babies within the unit that utilized literally tape and rubber bands to suspend syringes. And I thought, well, that's just asinine. That is a problem and a half, and we really need to solve that. What can we do? What can I do? And so I sketched a design to go ahead and for a device that would be mobile and allow for positioning and feeding and do it in a way that was safe for the patients. And then I called around to different manufacturers to see if there was anybody who could put together what I was wanting, and I found a company who could hodgepodge things together. And so they gave me a prototype of the device, and actually I am using it right now to hold my phone in place, multi-purpose. and we used it on the unit just to see if it worked, and it did. The only problem was my organization didn't have really a pathway at the time to really push those ideas forward and help them come to fruition. And working in an organization that has strong IP is sometimes challenging, because you can't just go out on your own and make these inventions happen at times unless you leave your workplace. So there's different implications that you have to be mindful of. But so we partnered with a company called the Innovations Lab, my organization did, to try and get this up and running. And somebody beat me to market by 6 months or so. But that really did ignite the passion for, you know what, I saw a problem as a nurse, and I was able to see a solution and create one, and that worked. And it was seen in a positive light. And so there was the company that did create these, which has a mind-blowing similar design to mine, which is uncanny but kind of cool. We purchased some of those products for our unit, so still solving the problem, and so still finding a solution. But I think that really was the starting point to some degree, and then I've been able to create toolkits and sheets, and I'm working on a couple different, an invention for an app, another invention that I have to improve cardiac compressions. So a few different things that I've been able to be a part of that have just kind of built upon each other. So it's been a fun time.
Wow, you are really creative. I love that. I'm curious about this your own company, right? Is what's happening with that? So a couple of nurses you said you got together and did a company. Tell us a little more. I'm curious.
Yeah. Originally, when we did the hackathon back in November, we were a team of 9. And just because of time commitments and financial commitments and what it takes to kind of get a startup up and running, we are now a team of 4. So we have 4 nurses from different backgrounds, and we're excited to kind of change the system of healthcare and how it's provided at night, being patient-centered and keeping our healthcare workers in the night and our nurses safe. So we are looking forward to hopefully piloting our product soon, and then getting it on the market soon after that. So it'll be a whirlwind of a few months and the end of the year, but we're looking forward to it.
I think it's so exciting.
So
And then,
nightvisioncare.com if you care to check it out. It's a little plug.
say it again. What's the website? I love it.
nightvisioncare.com.
nightvisioncare.com. I love it. Yeah, absolutely. Check it out. And anybody who has any kind of questions or comments on the post below, just please write them down, right? And we can get back to you. And I get back to you as well. I'm curious. So you did all that, and then the Johnson & Johnson Fellowship came about too, right? Was it around the same time or not?
It was around the same time that I was just trying. Well, it was around the same time that I found out that my invention maybe was not going to pan out like the first one. And so I've always say the thing, like, things are going smooth and you get the wind knocked out of your sails, but you always have to remember that you're still in the boat. And another breeze will come along and take you where you need to go. But having that mindset that, just get your oars out and keep paddling, and then a breeze will come out and take you the rest of the way. And so that's really what it was. It was a really, I found it by accident, the application. I think once I was on my journey and I was new to the world of nursing innovation, I was trying to find like-minded people and just doing different Google searches. And then I found Mancillas, and that web page, their site led me to the Johnson & Johnson, and I saw the application and I was like, oh my gosh, it's everything I love. It's everything I'm excited about nursing to be. And so it was a really happy accident to find it. And I applied, never expecting really in comparison to the nurses that are out there to go ahead and be selected. But I'm so grateful that I was.
So awesome. Where do you see yourself going? Because I think you've done so much. You're already doing so much. And I love the fact that you said, even though my product didn't work, right? I'm still in the boat. I'm still going. Because it would have been easy to say, okay, forget it, right? And I think a lot of nurses have that. They have a creative idea. They get kind of pushback from other people, management. Things happen, right? What would you say to those nurses and who are having that? Because I think it's real.
I think nurses have an amazing superpower when it comes to innovation. We're able to empathize better than most. You have doctors and board members and what have you trying to come at a problem, but they don't care enough about the problem like nurses do when it affects our patients. And so I think that is something that nurses need to hold on to. There's going to be ups and downs because the world of innovation and entrepreneurialism and success, it ebbs and flows. And so the heart of nursing is to care and to fix and to make better a lot of the times. And so that's the spirit of being an innovator. And so it's deep within nurses, it's embedded. And just reminding them of that, I think, is important.
I love it. My goodness, I love your story. So as you're going and moving on, what do you see for yourself into the future and for nursing in general, nurse innovation? I know it's becoming a really hot term. So I'm curious, what do you see happening in the next year or two? We're also coming, or still are a little bit in COVID, right? So that's a whole other issue too as well. But what do you see happening in the future for that? I'd love some insights on that.
I think as COVID, God willing, starts to dissipate and leave us, that the spirit of togetherness and collaboration and solidarity does not. And I think we've already started seeing, even on the different social media platforms, and people have had like fixes and hacks. And I know Eric Anderson, one of my fellow cohorts, is really passionate about getting those ideas up and out. But other than nurse hack, people were doing it on Facebook and different social groups that were happening, and just encouraging each other, hey, I have this idea and this was this fix. I had this idea and it worked really great for my patient. And I think that collaboration and that spirit of working together for the betterment of the patients, I hope that doesn't leave us, even if COVID does. For me personally, I would love to see nursing innovation incorporated more within the nursing programs. I think that one of my speaks to my younger nursing self would be like, girl, take a business class. Like, if they would have given me that option and strongly encouraged it, I would have. But you don't know what you don't know. And I think exposing our newer nurses to know that nursing is really like limitless, and we're capable of so much that affects the patient, not just at the bedside, but decisions that are being made by a nurse in C-suite board levels. It's really impactful, and that's what I hope nursing does. It grows to have a seat at the table and have nurses from the very beginning recognize their value.
I love it. Oh my goodness, that's so powerful. How can nurses get in touch with you? What's the best way to get in touch with you, or nurses who are like, wow, this sounds interesting, would love to hear a little more? Or of course, if your website, any other way to get in touch with you? That's the best way.
So if you go to our website, nightvisioncare.com, and you scroll to the bottom, you'll see my face along with all my other teammates. If you click on it, it'll take you straight to my LinkedIn page. You can go ahead and message me there, and I'd be happy to connect with you, share my story, and give you encouragement if you're kind of in that spot where I'm in a nurse, I'm in a bedside, and I really have these cool ideas. What do I do with them? Network at work. It's really important. There are people that are probably like-minded or would be helpful to you and things that you want to accomplish that you're not even aware of it. But being a part of shared governance committees, reaching out to different areas within your work unit is really important, because it'll open up more doors for you, and collaboration is key.
You're right, collaboration is key. I love that. So I want to end with this wonderful interview. We could go longer, but I really want to keep it to a short 15 minutes if we can. I'm curious, what would you say to a nurse today who is listening to this, who is at the bedside or not at the bedside, but say, hey, what would be your tip? What would be your advice? What would you say to a nurse like that? Can you finish us off with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say always remember why you went into nursing, what the heart of nursing is. And if something doesn't pan out the way that you had hoped, that you had all intentions and purposes of it coming to fruition and being this glorious thing, it doesn't mean that that's where the story ends. It's only the beginning. So you have the ability to go ahead and affect change in really amazing ways, at the bedside, in the boardroom, in academia, with your own business. The sky is super limitless for nurses, be it brand new or wanting to go ahead and take a switch up in life later on. So go create, innovate, do your thing.
Do your thing. Okay, we're going to end with that. Thanks so much, Jennifferre. I loved it. You have been such a delight actually to interview here today. Thanks so much, guys. Go to nightvisioncare.com. Go and find her on LinkedIn. Say some hi, make some comments on these posts as well, because more nurses need to see this. More nurses need to hear this. So, thanks so much, Jennifferre. Let's go
Thank you
innovate.
so much.
Let's have.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.